I would describe my experience as kind of a nonstop thrill ride. You know, I came in the first day and was introduced to my attorneys and pretty much was immediately handed substantive assignments, assignments that might end up in opposing counsel's hands or the hands of a judge, and got a lot of help from my attorneys, but also got to puzzle through a lot of these assignments for the first time ever.
I would describe my experience here as incredibly dynamic. I've been so fortunate to get to see all the different phases of litigation, starting from doing research to figure out if we can even file a case, all the way up to being able to actually work on an active trial right now. And so every day here looks really different. I'm always very excited to come into work to see what I'm actually going to be working on that day, and I've gotten to work on a real big variety of cases as well. So a truly very dynamic and interesting experience.
I think the most impactful thing for me has been how real the cases are, and there's a plaintiff behind them who's a real person. And I think that can be sometimes challenging because you're dealing with someone's real life, but it really adds weight to the work you're doing, and it makes it really enjoyable to be coming into work every day. I spent the whole first probably 4 weeks barely realizing I was working because I was just so driven by this is really making a difference in someone's life.
I've got to work on a lot of cases that have, real world impact, and that's been really meaningful to see and get to experience, I guess, to see the client's reaction to the work we've done and, be a part of the process through some things all the way through has been really impactful on me and just my view of the legal profession.
I learned more here than I have in the first 2 years of law school. Yeah, I got really great experience writing, sitting in on depositions, actively helping in depositions. And yeah, no, it's been a really great practical experience.
I was actually in a mediation that we settled with a case that I've been working on all summer, and that was really great to be there for that and actually help get some non-monetary compensation as well for that specific case.
I've worked with Rich Schoenberger. He's been absolutely fantastic to work with. And then I've also worked with Catherine Connolly, an associate at the firm, and she's been really fantastic. She's always pulling me into various things that she has on her plate. And then I've also worked with Connor Kelly a little bit.
I worked with Doris, Spencer, Kelly, Tina, and Khaldoon.
Working with Mike Kelly, watching how Rich Schoenberger goes through a jury voir dire, seeing how Andrew McDevitt analyzes a product's claim, those things have been invaluable to me. And I think that I know that those are skills you're not picking up in the classroom. Those are things that you only get to see by watching attorneys who are, at the top of their game do their work.
I worked primarily with Sarah Peters, and I loved that experience so much that I'm sad to leave.
I think the most memorable thing for me is getting to see a client's, reaction to what we're doing and see their appreciation for the work that these attorneys have done.
This internship has really solidified what I want to do, and it's given me confidence to keep going on this path, especially since law schools often push you in the corporate law direction. This summer has been really gratifying to see that this is not only the work that I want to do, but that I can excel at it and work with really great people.
I think the other thing that I'd like to share about my experience is that one of the real reasons that I chose to work at Walkup for the summer was that I was really interested in working at a plaintiff side personal injury firm that often goes to trial because I'm interested in becoming a trial attorney. And that is exactly the experience I've gotten. I think I'm very fortunate to have gotten to work on an active trial during the short amount of time that I've been here, and learning about all the different phases of trial, from jury selection to opening statements to all the little things that go into trial along the way, has just been a really, really fantastic experience. And I feel very fortunate to have had that while I've been here.
Yeah, the attorneys and the staff at Walkup have all been tremendously welcoming. The attorneys have always made themselves available, and they've always allowed you to ask questions. It's a pretty surreal experience getting it to walk down the hall and knock on Mike Kelly's door and ask him for a point of advice about the complaint that you're working on. I had the opportunity of working on a case that went to trial with Rich Schoenberger and Andy McDevitt as the two lead attorneys, and they were always giving me feedback and giving me insights into like why they were doing things and how things could be done better, and I'm eternally grateful for those experiences.